I was thinking about when I was a boy, Saturday mornings, and I was thinking about this because I had two little grandsons here at the house, one big one, and I had two other little ones. And I was observing how destructive children are. And, like I, I do model trains, so I have train layouts that they don't need to be touching them because they're too fragile. They won't run. But then I buy them other train sets, like a Disney train set or something out of plastic, and they destroy it. And then wonder why it doesn't run. And they literally break the wheels off of it and take the, the box car itself and just rub it across the floor and wonder why it won't roll after they broke the wheels off of it. But children are, generally destructive. Uh, and I had to repent for my thoughts about that because I remembered Saturday mornings when I was a kid. Now, my dad always wanted me to cut the grass or load up a bunch of Pepsi bottles uh, in a wagon and carry to the grocery store to get the deposit money back on them. Now, young people today don't have any sense of this, but it was a major source of income for kids. Was if your parents let you take the bottles back to the store for deposit and you get several dollars. So either I mowed the grass and he paid me, $5 or whatever to mow the grass or four, and then or I would take the balls to the store, and if it was a particularly expensive model uh, ship or plane or car that I wanted to buy down at the Franklin's drugstore, I might do both. I might cut the grass and then get the balls, and the balls were always in the utility room. The utility room's where everything bad happened. It was like the Hades of our house. It's where he cut my hair into a GI haircut, and I was a pacifist. That's where I got my spankings, and he took the belt and whipped me in that utility room, and it was hot. He had installed a big exhaust fan in there. He had taken a bunch of baby food jars and put assorted screws and nails in jars and mounted them on the wall. That's where the puppy got put when we went off, and that's where the puppy would poop in the floor, is in the utility room. So basically, everything bad happened in that utility room, except the fact that that's where all the pop balls were to go to the store. So I would take a coaster wagon, go in there and load up those balls, take them to the drugstore, and then I would get the money back on them. And this would typically be around $5. And so I would go to Franklin's drugstore, go to the lunch counter, first of all, and order French fries and a cherry smash. And put lots of ketchup. Felt like I was putting a whole bottle of ketchup on the French fries, big plate of fries. I would eat that at the lunch counter by myself, and then I would go over to the model cars and model ships and boats and planes and the monogram and the AMT and all that. Some of y'all don't know anything about that. And I would buy a model, and if I needed, uh, you know, a bottle of paint and a brush, which I usually kept model car paints in my room, then I would rush home and put that model together hurriedly. No crafts here, no careful. This is not fine work. This is just throwing that thing together and gluing it. And there would be all kind of issues that I would have with the assembly of it. And if it was a particularly weird uh, part that had to be glued, I might just omit it. Because my whole point in getting it painted too quick where even my fingerprints are in the paint, get that thing put together because I'm going to take it out to the Drunkwoods. Now, the Drunkwoods was a place near my house, thick area of woods behind some houses. And when you go in there, it was not unusual to see a drunk asleep by a tree. We call it the Drunkwoods. And then we would ride bikes out there and make ramps. And sometimes we throw firecrackers on the drunks while they're asleep. That was a joy we had, was waking them up with firecrackers. But anyway, I would take that model after I'd assembled it to the drunk woods, fill it full of either M80s or Black Cat firecrackers, and blow it up. Or pour gasoline on the driveway, the carport, light it, which is a miracle I didn't burn a house down. I did this so much. And then roll that model through it and watch it melt. The other thing I would do with models sometimes is I would get a pair of pliers and a nail and get my mother to help me heat it up on the stove, that nail, and then I would pierce that hot nail into that plastic model and make bullet holes. But at any rate, kids are destructive. Animals are destructive if they're bored. So this is my Saturday morning story.